Welcome, one and all, to Pacific 4 and 4 episode review. I'm going to be reviewing episode 6 of the Orville New Horizons, Twice in a Lifetime. Twice in a Lifetime, and maybe there will be some spoilers. I do apologize. Twice in a Lifetime is a Gordon-centric story. It connects to a few episodes from previous seasons. It connects to one specific episode from season 2 called Lasting Impressions. It does have an appearance by Laura. Okay, another spoiler. And it also deals with the repercussions of somebody going back in time and what happens when that person is trapped in time for an extended period of time. This episode definitely raises some questions as far as what is right and what is wrong when it comes to time paradoxes. You change one little thing in the past and its effects on the future. It also deals with Gordon and his thoughts on what has transpired, along with what may end up happening because of his trip through time. Yes, that is a spoiler. He goes back in time. You know what? I might as well just come out with it because I'm going to just keep giving away spoilers. And I do apologize. If you don't want to hear the spoilers from this moment on, come back later when you've watched the episode and listen to the spoilers. But Gordon is sent time. This is the Asimov device. There's an attack by Kalon. The Kalon are the ones who want the Asimov device because they learn what it do. With Gordon being sent back in time, the Orville has to go back to the 21st century to retrieve Gordon, although things don't go quite as planned, and there's a isonium shortage for the quantum drive. Ed and Kelly go looking for Gordon. Meanwhile, Charlie and Isaac have to get some disonium. Things occur, like there's a scene with Charlie and Isaac at a biker bar where they need to get some transportation to get to their location to retrieve the disonium. They enter the biker bar. Charlie volunteers Isaac for an arm wrestling contest. As to be expected, Isaac ends up winning. Meanwhile, Kelly and Ed end up finding where Gordon is. He's out in Los Angeles. He's a pilot, flies private planes, and he sees Ed and Kelly, and he takes them to his home where they're introduced to Gordon's family and his wife, Laura, from the episode Lasting Impressions. And they have a son named Edward, and Laura's also expected. In this episode, Ed and Kelly are telling Gordon, you screwed up, you went against union regulations, you have to answer for what you did. Gordon doesn't want to go back. Ed and Kelly tell him they're going back. Of course, Gordon wants to stick with his family. He can't even bring them to the future. When they bring down Talia, and I'll get to Talia here in a moment about what happens with her in the episode, but they come back with Talia, and they're about to force him out, but Gordon says, I'm not leaving. They end up leaving. They end up traveling back further in time, close to the point where Gordon originally arrived back in the 21st century. And they end up retrieving Gordon. They end up telling Gordon what happened, and the Gordon that we know takes it all right because he hasn't been trapped in the 21st century for 10 years. But the Gordon who we met 10 years after his arrival in the 21st century, he arrived in 2015. He was upset because he didn't want to lose his family, and you can't blame him. Meanwhile, as Ed and Kelly are looking for Gordon, and they eventually find him, and Charlie and Isaac are looking for the disonium, which they eventually find at this home. At least it's underneath this home when they have to drill to the Earth's core. Lamar and Talia are building upon the relation. Lamar's working on a few things on the Orville, checking structural integrity and making sure all the systems are 100%. And he gets up at one point after using a diagnostic tool, and he says to Talia that he has a kink in his back. She finds the knot and then smooths it out, massages out the knot. They start making out. So there's definitely more seeds planted for the relationship that were teased previously. Got that going. And we, have the complications of time travel. temporal paradoxes and multiple timelines. But of course, the big focus of this episode is Gordon, and it's nice to have a Gordon-centric episode. I was watching a few people last week who were saying, when are we getting a Gordon-centric episode? Gordon's my favorite character. Not seeing a Gordon-centric episode yet. Well, we got our Gordon-centric episode, and it made a connection to lasting impressions. That's good. This episode was very good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than last week's episode. I definitely enjoyed it more than Morality Paradox. Gently Falling Rain was a very good episode, but I can even say I enjoyed this episode more. A lot of it is because it focused on Gordon. Now, I haven't given up everything that happened in this episode, but I have given up a few key themes that happen in this episode. But all I'm going to say is go watch this episode for yourself. Judge it for yourself. If you end up liking it, cool. That's fine too. If I'm going to give it any kind of rating, as far as my rating system here on my channel is concerned, it's definitely a 4.5 out of 5. It's not perfect. I highly recommend to anybody who is a fan of the Orville, definitely check out this episode, especially if you like the episode Lasting Impression. Definitely check this episode out. I think you'll all enjoy it. Overall, this is a fantastic episode. 4.5 out of 5. Definitely nice to see connections to previous episodes. Definitely nice to see a Gordon-centric episode. And if you enjoyed this episode, let me know down in the comment section below. If you didn't enjoy this episode, let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, let me know. I greatly appreciate it. Leave a thumbs up, leave a comment. Thank you all for watching. If you like this or any other content here on the Pacific 4 YouTube channel, please consider subscribing, because I not only do episode reviews like episodes of The Orville, but I also do movie reviews, gameplay, live streams, and I also do Pacific 4 Pop Talk along with the box score when I can recap particular Cub games or any Cub game I'm able to watch. Thank you all for watching. It's greatly appreciated. And as always, take care.